if you're trying to build a 6-figure business and have your first 6-figure year, these are the 3 biggest opportunities that you have right now. I've met so many people who talk about having a 6-figure business and wanting to hit 6 figures and scaling to 6 figures, and the truth is, people don't have the basics. I think a lot of people have been sold a dream on social media, and the dream is you can set something up and you can be on the beach and it can just be working for you, and you can manifest it and you can just ask and then you just do your healing and it's going to work. That isn't it. There's 3 things you've got to master. The first one is action. It takes massive action to invent something, create it and put it out in the world. The second one is purpose. Don't try and build something that doesn't feel true to you or in alignment to you, because when it gets tough, you will bail. Ask me how I know. And then the third one is healing. You'll only go as far as you're able to manage in yourself. So if you hate turning up, being public, asking for the sale, obviously that's going to limit your ability to build a company. So we've got action, imperative, so important. You're getting nowhere without doing the graft. We've got purpose, like just let that help you, do what you feel called to do. For me, that is the flow of the universe. Let's just build that in a little bit. And the third one is healing. Where you feel stuck, don't turn away from that, lean into that. If you keep getting a poor result in one area of your life and it repeats and repeats and repeats, that's called a pattern, and the pattern is there to show you there's an issue here. Please put your eyes on it and go digging. That is hard work, but if you want a 6-figure business, this is the work that we have to do. All right, should we get into it? Let's go. Alright, first opportunity that you have is 100% in the offer that you create for the market. Often when I hear what people are pitching, in the back of my head I'm thinking, no one's going to buy that, no one's going to buy that, and then I have to articulate it in a way that says, hey, with the offer that you've created, I think the bit that will resonate most with your audience is this, because really there's only 3 things people ever want to pay for. One is making more money, getting richer. Yeah, like blunt, but that's true. Second one is health, their body, looking better, feeling better. This is things like the gym, clothes, health and beauty products. And then the third one is love, relationships, dating, a sense of connection, all of that good stuff. So when you're thinking about your offer, you've got to understand human psychology. And this is the key. Don't ask, what do I want to sell? Ask, what do I have? What do I know that people out there want? And how do I package that up? I know I talked before about purpose. I'm really big on that. I'm not saying disregard your purpose. I'm saying, what do people want? How do you package it up? And then within it, ask, what makes it unique to me? What is my unique thought leadership around this? How do I make it feel good and in alignment with what I'm all about? So many people put offers together and they tell me this is what their customer needs. But when I ask them who their customer is, they literally can't tell me. They cannot pinpoint in detail who is going to buy this product. And then I think, would you actually buy it? And they wouldn't. They wouldn't buy their own product. So another little trick with this is to ask, genuinely, how many customers would change your life? So I typically work with people who have a higher priced offer, so at least 1,500, but better if it's 3.5, 5K, because I think it's much easier to sell less and do a good job to a few people at a higher price than it is to try and sell at volume something that is low ticket. That being said, I do have high ticket offers at 5, 10K and 24K, and I do have low ticket offers at around 20 or 30. Guess where the bulk of my revenue comes from? It's not those 20, 30 pound products. I do those for other reasons. So if I was to ask you, how many customers would change your life right now? Are you going to say to me, yes, Lisa, 10,000 customers would change my life? Or, betting on what I know about you, are you going to say, actually, Lisa, if I could just win 5 more people this month or 3 more people this month, it would change everything for me. It would change the game. It would take this pressure off. It'd give me revenue for that. It'd give me money to come and buy one of your programs. Am I right or am I right? If that's the case, why on earth would you create a sales page for anyone and everyone and try and solve all of their problems at once instead of thinking about bringing 4 people in? So an example of this would be, for example, I teach people how to build offers, how to create sales pages, how to build funnels. I can do that if you own a gym business, I can do it if you run a chain of shops, I can do that if you're a photographer, a dog walker, but that is so vague and scattered. I would never build a sales page that says, hey, if you're a dog walker or you run a chain of shops or you're a gym owner, I can help you build a funnel, because I'll look stupid. I won't look like I know what I'm talking about. If instead I said, guys, I've built this offer and there's only 3 things you need in order to hit your 6-figure year as an online business coach, this is what that looks like. And then all of my examples relate to the difficulties of being a business coach, of how you build your brand, of the kind of content you have to create, of how it's hard to stand out and how you feel icky selling, then the customer reading it, my customer, is going to go, oh, okay. Now, if I was to do that launch again, this time I might not be so niche and talk about business coaches. This time I might be a little bit more general and talk about coaching in general or online businesses, but I would never make something that could appeal to anybody and everyone. And the reason for that is because at 6 figures, doing that decreases your chances of making sales. You really got to hear me on this. So many people who haven't yet done a 6-figure year, they use the word scale. I want to scale up. I want to grow my business. I want to scale it up. And I'm like, what do you want? Oh, I just want to make money and work less. I hear this all the time. And I think you're in trouble because for your first few years, that's not going to happen. You cannot scale nothing. You cannot scale a brand that you haven't built, a customer base that you haven't got, and an offer that you haven't really tested time and time again. Think about it. In those early years, and when I say early years, I mean 2 to 4. In those 2 to 4 years, you're not scaling at all. You're barely growing. Really, you're just building it. You're just creating the thing. I can't tell you how many iterations I've been through of programs teaching people how to build and scale businesses, because every time I did it, I learned something and I released it again and made it better. The very first course I ever did, it was called Dare to Grow, the online course. Some of you might remember it. The first version of that was so cheap. I'm trying to think what it was. I daren't even say. I think it was like 50 quid, and then it went up to 300, and then it went up to like 500, then $1,000, then I think the highest I charged that at was maybe about 1,200, something like that. But it wasn't until cohort 4 or 5 that I had my first 10k month with that, and then I probably didn't hit 6 figures with that until maybe cohort 6 or 7, something like that. But immediately after it, literally months after I hit 6 figures with that program, I launched my next program, which was called Expansion Business School. You might have heard of that. That hit 6 figures in a matter of months compared to the years it took me to learn how to build a business, create a message. So I just want to almost be a voice of reason for you here right now and get your focus in the right place. If you haven't yet hit 6 figures and you're not yet doing 100k a year consistently in your business, stop thinking about scaling and even growing. Put all of your time and energy into crafting an offer that people want to buy. Learn how to put that sales page together. Really think about who the customer is. Understand their problems. What is it they're seeking? Think about what you have that they will buy from you and perfect your delivery of it. Perfect is too strong a word, but really focus on delivering an outstanding product to them and an outstanding service, because the people who bought from me 4 or 5 years ago, they are still buying from me today. And one thing I always hear back in testimonials is Lisa over-delivers. She always gives you more than what you pay for. That is part of what my brand is. If you pay me to help you with something, I will help you with that thing and a few more things, because I want you to leave and honestly not think, oh, that was rubbish, who else can I go to? I want you to think, whoa, I need a break, she's intense, and then to come back in 6 months and say, what's next? I'm ready, because then I will have grown too and I'll be ready for you, all right? So number 1, really focus on your offer. Forget scaling, you're not there yet. Focus on building an audience, building your message, building your sales page, and building an outstanding product that people rave about. Next one, if you haven't yet hit 6 figures in your business, one of the biggest opportunities you have is work and time. There are so many messages online about setting up funnels and building a business that runs while you sleep and getting your time back and work-life balance and all of this. If you want that, don't be an entrepreneur, and definitely don't be an entrepreneur in your first few years, because that is a lie. Being an entrepreneur, do you know what that means? It means saying, I reject the way 90% of the world runs and operates. I'm going to break free of the indoctrination that I've had, where I have to ask for permission and I have to go to the same place every day and do as I'm told. And I'm going to, from thin air, pluck a product out of my mind, build it, and then ask complete strangers to buy it from me. And I'm going to do that all on my own motivation, with no boss, no manager, no rules, no guidelines. And once I've designed it and then built it, I'm also going to deliver it, do the numbers on it, and sort things out with the accountant and the tax person. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Do you know what your biggest opportunity is there? The fact that you are a hard worker and you are a grafter. I promise you now, the hours, the days, the months, the years you put into building your brand and perfecting your offer and building your business now, you will bank on that for the next decade, I promise you. There was a time in my life where I made a vlog nearly every single day. Again, if you follow me for a while, you might know them, the Dare to Grow vlogs. I made a vlog nearly every single day in my life. Looking back, I don't know how I did it, because I did it all by myself whilst building this company for the first time. I kid you not when I say I leveraged the brand and the persona and the relationships and the credibility that I built in those few years of vlogging for like literally the next half decade. So for the next half decade, without having to market and build an audience and spend so much money, it built me a community that I could keep going to and making these high value offers, and the business continued to grow. How amazing is that? But if I'd never put the time in the beginning and sacrificed a little bit of sleep, a little bit of fun, a few beach holidays with friends, whatever, if I hadn't have done that, then the next 5 years of my life would have been a struggle. So I'm saying to you now, if you're in a business, especially if it's a service-based business where you are selling time for money, people are disgusted by this. Oh my God, I'm gonna sell somebody a coaching package and then actually have to coach them. Yes, you are, because one, it is the highest margin, easiest product to sell. You don't need anything. You just gotta be good at what you do, turn up and help. 2, in helping your customers, I don't mean 5 or 10, I mean 100, you will really learn what these people need. You will see them fall over at the same obstacles time and time again, and you can build those lessons into your sales pages, into your products, into your delivery. And third one is content. Often when I'm speaking to a client, I think, I've heard that. I keep hearing the same things. Guess what the title of my next YouTube video or piece of content becomes, or the next program that I create. Working with people not only allows you to get better at what you do, but it feeds your knowledge and understanding of the market and your customer, and it allows you to build your brand. So if you're thinking right now, again, it kind of speaks to that first point. I want to scale, I want to grow, I want to build my business, and I want to work less, whatever. If someone says that to me, I won't work with them, because if you're saying you want to work less and you haven't yet done 100k in a year, what do you think's going to happen? That the magic fairies are going to come in and just bring you with like no experience and no track record and no sweat and blood in the game? They're going to be like, yes, you deserve loads of new clients. I know we can sit back and wish and ask and pray, but you don't get what you ask for. You don't get what you want. You get what you are willing to act on. You get who you are willing to become, and you'll get as much as you're able to handle. That's the healing bit of that triangle right in the beginning. So honestly, this is crazy, but I just want to really reiterate this. If you're in a moment in your business where things are tough and things are a bit tight, this is my advice to you. Think about 5 or 6 people whose lives you could change right now. Put together a crazy offer that would be impossible for them to say no to. Put a high ticket amount on it whereby if you sold like 5 of them and collected the revenue that month or over the next 2 months, it would change the game. You could pay that bill, you could invest in this, you could buy that office space, get a new camera, whatever. Why wouldn't you sacrifice 2 or 3 months of your life, work hard, collect that cash, and like use the greatest thing you have, which is your time and sweat equity? Like, it's crazy to me. The moment for scaling and leverage, it will come, but under 6 figures, you're not there yet, right? Third thing, if you're under 6 figures, one of the biggest opportunities you have is the way that you talk to yourself and your mindset. You've got to change the story. You don't know it, but there's a story operating in your mind that says, I am only worthy of a 30k year. I'm only capable of a 30k year. There are only enough customers for a 30k year. Because if that weren't true, you wouldn't be watching this video. You'd be watching a video about 500,000 or 1 million or 1 billion or whatever. The truth is, whatever you are operating at, whatever the results are in the world, there's nothing unfair about them. They are demonstrating to you what you believe about yourself. And this is why I think when bad things happen to us, or we get ourselves in bother, or we have a difficult month, it's no more complicated than the fact, this is what I think I'm worth, this is what I believe. And the story that you tell yourself, it is the start of the journey. It will dictate what you do or do not do. Now, I have to tell you something really important. On my journey as an entrepreneur, and just like a human being, I keep asking, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? It's probably a terrible question, but I'm ambitious, right? I've got goals, there's things I want to do, there's things I want to achieve. And I have to say to myself all the time, why aren't I there? Why aren't I there? What is stopping me? And I do this work all the time. I will write down as many things that I know that are wrong with me, things that I can see, right? I've got an issue around showing up here because I have this belief around that. Okay, last time I did this, it felt this way, so I didn't repeat it. All right, there's a pattern or a belief going on there. Some things come out and you didn't know them, but as soon as it becomes visible, you know it. And if you don't act on it or change it or work towards improving it, what are you doing? It's like knowing that hitting yourself in the head is giving you a red face and you're like, yeah, I know that this happens, but I continue doing it. Like, think about it. It's exactly the same for the story you tell yourself. If you know that there is something going on with you that is a limiting belief or a story that doesn't serve you and you just accept it and carry on, you're asking for the same result. And when you say, why did this happen to me again? Like, why did I get into debt? Why did I lose that customer? Why did I not post content? Why has it been another year and I haven't done this? And you know what the pattern is and you're not fixing it, that result will keep showing as a prompt. That's all it is. It's saying, hey Lisa, you gonna work on this yet? And you ready to do it? Nope, okay. It's gonna keep cycling through until you get the message that you have to grow through this. You cannot ignore it. The other thing that I do with this exercise is I ask the question, what don't I know that I don't know? Sounds like a crazy question. I have growth goals, I've got ambitions, there's things I want to do personally and in my business and my career. And I think to myself, why aren't I there? Why aren't I there? Here's the things I know, but what don't I know? And the best way to get this knowledge is to go to people who have the result and you watch their video. Listen to this. You watch their videos, you consume their content, you listen to what they're, not one person, maybe a few. You read, you get really greedy and hungry and you're like gobbling it all up and you're listening. But here's the critical thing. If you listen and 3 people at the level above you say a similar thing and they tell you the path, and you ignore it and you decide to do it in your own way, you probably don't know something that they do know. They are telling you the answer. Never before have we been in a time in history where if you want to build a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business or learn how to do something, you're like, if only there was somewhere I could go to get the information. There are so many books, so many courses, so much content people are putting out, like for free, just to give back and be generous and build their brand because they've already made it. And like their objective now isn't to sell to you, their objective is to build a bigger brand, to get leverage with other deals that they're doing. Go and consume, and you want to be looking for the clues. Here's what I do. I think someone at that level, the level I want to be at, I know where I think my issues are and here's what I'm doing about it. Here's the healing, here's the subconscious reprogramming, here's the work I'm doing to change my mindset, change my frame. I'm going to share something with you on that in a second. Here's what I'm doing. And I look at other people and I think, how do they speak? How do they talk? How do they structure things? What are they saying they've got? And how do I get there? So I'm looking and studying and seeing what they're doing that I'm not doing, because it will highlight for me an area of knowledge that I just didn't even know that I didn't have, and you've got to go seeking that out. Now I said I'd share something with you. Sometimes I will sit in a car and I will literally hear this negative ego, whatever construct in my mind telling me, you're a loser, you're gonna fail, why didn't you do it? Oh, it's no point, you just need to have a break, or you work too hard, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I just have to say, shut up. And it might make me sound a bit crazy, but I just say, would you shut up? Because you're not helping either of us. Like, my subconscious mind, my ego, whatever you want to call it, it wants to keep me safe. And in order to do that, it wants me to stay the same as what I was. And the weird thing about it is staying the same could actually cause me suffering and pain, because it's like, better the devil you know. I'd rather be here and suffer and I know where we are, this feels familiar so it feels okay, than for us to actually accomplish something and achieve. So I'll be driving and the second I get consciousness of the fact that this little chatterbox has gone off hurling its stupid abuse, I'll literally go, less of that, in the back seat, shut up, because you're not helping. And I think, tap into my higher self. What am I capable of? What am I trying to do? Who am I trying to help? How can I build on this? What am I going to try and attempt today? And I honestly try really hard to think less and do more. So I'll give you a little trick. On my wall right there is a piece of paper and it says priorities. On that list I've got 4 things that I will be completing this week, come hell or high water. If I'm up till Sunday at midnight, they're getting done. Looking at the list, I've done 2 of them, and I've got 2 more that are probably halfway done. It's going to take a bit of effort to put them over the line. Those things are getting done because that is the straight line through to the life I'm trying to build and the result that I'm trying to live and the work that I'm trying to do in the world. On what planet do I ignore those priorities? On a planet where I want to minimize my success and stay the same. But they aren't my objectives. They're probably the objectives of my ego mind, my subconscious programming, whatever. And you've got to remember, when somebody says to you, you're working too hard, or what are you up to, or are you conning people? I've heard that before. What is it you're working on? Like, why don't you just get a job? All of these things that I heard at the start of my journey, people are telling you those things not because they want the best for you, but because they want the best for them. By that I mean, they want to know where you are, they want to know that you're safe, and they want to know that you've got your head down and things are working out. They also don't want you to push the parameters of what's possible because it's going to make them reflect on their own lives. If somebody truly wanted the best for you, how would they talk to you? What would they say to you? Would they say, you're such a loser, you work too hard, this is never going to work out, no one's going to buy from you, the market's too small, the market's saturated? Would somebody who really cares about you say that to you? Or would they say, listen, well done, you've come this far, you've learned so much, you have paid for your education, please keep using it, leveraging it, stop thinking, stop chatting, stop wasting your time, get back to your desk and do the frickin' work, because the work works. As long as you keep learning and reapplying and working with customers and putting what you're learning back out to the market, seeking information, looking at where your limiting beliefs are and making those changes, how can you fail? The only other parameter you're missing is time, so please do not quit. Alright, if that has helped you, please hit like, subscribe, whatever platform you're on, drop me a message, let me know you enjoyed this, and I will share more. Over and out.